As someone who has never been able to afford living in New York by myself, since 2018, I've always lived with roommates. I don't know how people are doing it, but let me tell you about some of my experiences. So, due to like income, being American slash having international parents, like not having a guarantor, not being in the 40 by whatever the fuck rule, I have always had to live in co-living spaces. The thing about co-living spaces is that you don't have one roommate, you have about five or six, depending on the apartment, depending on the price you want to pay. Right now they're so expensive, but I used to live in those in like 2018 and it was still fine. Like I literally paid $1,000, I believe, a month. But I did have to live with five fucking people. And the thing is, like, you don't have the same roommate. Like, everyone has a different lease. You don't talk to any of them pretty much. I actually have kept in contact with two of them because they're the only ones that like actually stayed as long as I did. But it is living with five different people. I didn't have the worst experience, but eventually we all had to move out. They literally sent us a letter and they were like, hey, everyone has to move the fuck out in the next month because I believe maybe the landlord, maybe not the landlord, the company got sued or something like that. So all of, I don't know, we all had to move out. This was called Bedley. It doesn't exist anymore, like I said, because the company had issues because it's illegal. That's illegal. Co-living is illegal. And then in 2021, I lived in one called Common. That one still exists. I will not say that I had as good as an experience. It is so overpriced. I believe I paid 1,200 at that time to live with five people. Two of them.
Paying 1,200 to still have a roommate is insane. I just go to a different state at that point. If you're curious, I've never had a roommate ever in my life. Never had a roommate, any capacity. And that was intentional because I'll tell you right now, I'll work 3, 4 jobs before I have a roommate. That's just me. I'm willing to make that sacrifice in order to have my space to myself. It's really just that simple. I'm not, for me, I'm going to be the only king of my castle. That's just for me. I'm not negotiation. No, I'm not negotiating. I'm not making any concessions. It's my way or the highway, and I'll do anything and pay any cost to ensure that it stays that way. Y'all, before we get into the next clip, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second. It actually does help out tremendously. And also, if you could hype.
Oh my god, she's coming. I don't understand the attitude.
I'm so afraid of her.
I'm like so afraid of her.
No, get it. Hey,
Oh my god, she's coming.
Actually, let me make a correction. Let me make a correction.
I'm like so afraid of her.
Because, see, he's doing it the right way. This is the only dynamic I can have a roommate under. This, he, let me correct that. I can have a roommate under those conditions, especially if I'm saving money. But notice the difference. It'd have to be me and two chicks. That's the only way it could work. So I'm not even mad at him. He's got the right idea.
Okay, ladies, what do y'all think about a man over 30 having a roommate? Or even men, what do you think about a woman over 30, having a roommate? Now, I don't mind someone having a roommate if that's not your end goal. Like, are you saving up for your own place, or the economy is real?
This is why did y'all know that we're all like literally walking radio towers? Because she's saying one thing, but she's thinking something else. And she couldn't even hide it. Look at how she reacted physiologically when she said, I wouldn't mind a man having a roommate. Look at her face.
Or even men, what do you think about a woman over 30, having a roommate? Now, I
Watch
don't
this.
mind someone having a roommate if that
Look at her face. Yes, you do. You absolutely mind if a man has a roommate. It showed all over her face just there.
That's not your end goal. Like, are you saving up for your own place, or the economy is real bad, and maybe having a roommate is just the era that we're in, right? I'm gonna tell you what I personally think about that. That doesn't satisfy me. That don't satisfy me at all. And like I said, if I start talking to you and you have a roommate, at that point it's my choice to continue to converse with you or not. But if your goal, if you just content with having a roommate, like, what if I come over your house, the first thing I'm gonna ask is your roommate gonna be there, we gonna have the house to ourselves? I don't know how I feel about that. But I also try to be, like I said, think realistically. The economy is high, everything is high. Jobs are not paying a livable wage to match the economy that we live in. You like, it's real tea. It's real out here. And I'm gonna say something else. I don't have a man. I don't have kids. If my mama did not live in the hood, I would rent out my house and go back home too. I would. So I can understand why people have that mindset. But as far as dating, like, guys, girls, men, and women out there, if the person you were interested in had a roommate, how would that make y'all feel? Let me know.
See, because this really shows the difference in the ideology of what we're getting in relationships for. See, it appears she's getting in a relationship just to have fun and possibly get in some more at some point in the future. So that's why it matters so much. Because obviously, if a guy's living with a roommate, what you should be trying to discern is you should be trying to understand the rationale behind it. Maybe it's just somebody who doesn't like being by themselves. And, they have great relationships with their friends or whoever, their brother, whoever they're living with. Maybe they just said, I can afford an apartment, but I'd rather put even more money away and or use that money in travel. But ultimately, why I think it shouldn't matter is because your goal should be to eventually move in with that person anyway. So at that point, it really shouldn't even matter. As long as they can take care of themselves and clearly they can cover some half of a rent, then you should be dating that person, getting to know them, in my opinion, with the understanding that you're trying to progress towards you all cohabitating at some point. And that's why I feel like it shouldn't matter. But if you're just dating and you just want to have fun, and you just want somebody with their own place and you have your own place, and maybe you even diversify the amount of people that you're seeing, then I could understand why there may be some issues and some constraints with that.
Been just over a month since I decided to get a roommate after over 4 years of living alone, and there have certainly been some adjustments, and there have been some things that have been unexpectedly good. So let's talk about whether I think this was a good decision in the first place. Let's talk about some of the not so ideal things first, and if I'm being honest, one of them is even telling people that I have a roommate. Frankly, I don't love it, and I worry about how it makes me perceived, especially at work. But then after I do a little bit of explaining, if I have the time, people are like, oh, okay, that sounds interesting, and the space is bigger and it seems nice. At the end of the day, this is New York City, and most people are understanding if you need roommates well into your 20s and even well into your 30s. The next thing is communication. We have definitely had to have a few conversations about the way in which we like to communicate with each other and the ways in which we like to be communicated with. But after a few conversations, that has pretty much resolved almost entirely, and I think it's just because of the fact that we're friends and we enjoy and respect each other generally. Oh, look at the girl I enjoy and respect. How are you?
I was like, someone's talking about me.
I love you. And then one last thing that I did not think of, the other two I definitely thought about, but one last thing that I did not think of is just the fact that you're being witnessed much more often. And for me, that's a thing that I've had to adjust to, but a thing that's honestly been great because I don't think we're meant to live life alone. I think we are meant to be witnessed even in moments that we don't look so great, but it has been an adjustment. She has definitely seen me have some crash outs. She's definitely
I mean, she's not wrong about the fact that we're not meant to live life alone, but I don't necessarily think that she's on the right track with the way she's doing it either. I don't think it was meant to be living life like this. But we'll do anything to just escape the reality of the way things should be in order to still do it our way and lean on our understanding. She mentioned that she was embarrassed about people finding out she has a roommate, especially like her job or whatever. Why are you telling your job you have a roommate? That's none of their business. And it does kind of make you look in a certain way. And that can then affect the way that they deal with you. And that can even affect your leverage at work. They start to feel like you might need the job or you may not have your life in order. I wouldn't recommend disclosing that and spilling that because I don't know what that has to do with the price of tea in China anyway. You don't have to, I don't think anyone's just asking those type of questions anyway. So if they found out about that, that was something, in my opinion, that she probably willingly shared and expressed.
See me get home late when I said I was going to get home early, and you kind of just have to admit all of these truths about yourself that you can kind of hide when you don't live with someone. Now, on to the good things. Unfortunately, there are so many more of these. So by far, out of all of the places I've lived since leaving my parents' home for college, this feels the most like home, full stop, and it's only been a month. It just feels so warm all the time. It's nice to have someone in the kitchen. It's nice to have someone just around and someone that you care about and someone that you want to keep up with. It's amazing. We've both had respective guests stay over, and one of us always ends up liking the other one's guests, and we just all end up hanging out together, and it feels like an episode of Living Single, and that experience would not trade it for anything. Next thing is money. I am saving money on, girl, and I am so grateful for that. My old place was just ridiculously overpriced. I knew that I just could not continue to live like that if I wanted to still travel and do things with my life besides just work and go home. And so the money has already felt a difference in my pockets. My pockets feel looser. I'm more excited for summer, and I'm so happy about that. So all in all, I think this is going to be one of the best decisions I have ever made. And I think it boils down to finding the right place with the right person. I wouldn't.
Well, that's what's up, because at the end of the day, she doesn't have really any self inflicted wounds on herself, it appears. She doesn't have any kids, which is great, as well as she's saving money. She didn't just say buying trips. So if she's saving money and, she's just living the way she wants to live, I can't be mad at that.
Financially unnormalize living with a roommate, but can we please not normalize living with a roommate? I can't. Like, oh my God. I think back to just college. Like, I love my old roommates. I love them. They are amazing people. Living? I would like to never go back to the days where you send passive aggressive texts just over simple household tasks, such as like, I just took out the garbage. When are you gonna do it? Or this is my third week in a row buying the dish soap. When are you gonna buy it? Or just letting them know, like, hey, I'm gonna be waking up early tomorrow. Sorry if I'm loud in advance. Or like telling them, turn on the TV, please. It's on 90 when I'm trying to sleep at night. God forbid they slammed. I can't. Like, my pet peeve was slamming a door. If a door was slammed, immediate. It's like I'd be sleeping and I'd be like awake. Like, we can't normalize having a roommate again. I know financially you need one basically now, but dear God, I can't. Like, I'm out of college. Why am I living with? Don't normalize it, please. I know we can't.
It's funny. It's like, don't normalize living with a roommate. Can we normalize relationships again? I mean, can we normalize marriage? Or is that too far too gone? That the whole time you watch all of these, doesn't that just seem like the missing piece right there? It's like, oh wow, I never thought of that. Yeah, if you just live the way you were supposed to, that solves the financial problem. That solves the problem as far as cohabitation is concerned, because that's who you'll be staying with for a lifetime anyway. I mean, it seems like a very simple fix, but hey, do what you want to do. It doesn't hurt me none. But I mean, that's clearly the solution, in my opinion. But on that, we're making it. We're able to make all the concessions and compromises in the form of a roommate because things can go left real quick, right? But then when we get in a relationship, we're not willing to make those concessions and compromises. I think that's a little bit ironic. But we'll leave it there for today. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second. It actually does help out tremendously. Also, if you could hype the video. Hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button, then it shows you the points. And since I am a smaller content creator, we get more points per hype. And then also Patreon's link below if you want to see self-improvement content. But until then, I'll catch you in the next video.